Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to my series Finesse and Flair, episode 2. Today, I have a very enigmatic, knowledgeable, passionate, and relentless personality. Please help me in welcoming my favorite psychology teacher from St. Bede's College, Simla, who made me fall in love with the subject for life. She has been a teacher in St. Bede's for 25 years. She took voluntary retirement and now is a freelance behavioral counselor and a soft skills trainer. She wins the hearts of one and all. She has the knack of making all her students fall in love with her with an equal amount of respect. Study of psychology is her passion. I'm honored and privileged to have none other than Miss Neelam Bali, ma'am, for my show today. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Bia. I'm really glad to be here on the show.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I really appreciate you taking out time from your busy schedule and for you to agree to do this for my series. It really means a lot to me, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Any time for the Bedians and especially for you, Bia.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. So, ma'am,
Right.
like I was talking to you the other day, and you know how many women in beads you have inspired. You know how many women you have actually nurtured from being young girls to these beautiful women who are doing whatever they are doing today. You've inspired so many people. So, ma'am, since of course I know you're a lot into reading, so which is one book which has really inspired you, ma'am, in all these years, considering you've inspired so many women? What book do you feel has inspired you?
Bia, yes, I have read a lot of books and I read and some are my favorite authors. But when I finished my ISC and in January 1974, we as a family we were together at Rishikesh and my dad was on a WHO project that side. And
Okay.
he initiated all of us, I and my two brothers, into reading Gita. He gifted us a copy of Gita each, which with his message, which I still have. Of course, as time went by, Gita became clearer to me, though the first, the second, the third read wasn't. And
Right.
I feel it is not a book. It is actually, you can say like a Britannica of life. It kind of guides you on every occasion, in every state of mind and heart. That is one thing, that is the background. Then I went on to read commentaries on it. I did manage to read the commentary by Dr. Radha Krishnan with the help of my parents because it's a difficult interpretation. And I
Right.
read many others also. Of course, I have not managed to read Gita in Sanskrit, which my mother used to do. But yes, I have read in Hindi and in English. But
Wow.
as time went by, I read a lot of other books. But just about, say, 15 to 20 years ago, a book, a very small book, that really touched me was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He talks about finding your destiny or making your destiny and how we run from pillar to post while it's there with us.
With us
We
all.
have the power to make our destiny. And I have recommended this book to innumerable of my counselees and my friends. You must read it because I bought it at the railway station at Delhi. I was traveling by Shatabdi to Chandigarh. And
Okay.
of course, I couldn't put it down. I just couldn't put it down. And till date, it makes a lot of sense to me. And I really like. And I have read a lot, many of Paulo Coelho's books. Very impressive, very nicely written. But somehow, The Alchemist is my all-time favorite.
Oh, wow. Ma'am, I've heard about this book, obviously, because it's a very popular book, but I've never really got down to reading it. Now that you're saying it's inspired you so much, I have to get down to reading this book for sure. I'm going to
You
get
will
my
like it.
hands.
You
I'm
will
definitely
like it.
going to. Definitely. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. So, ma'am, what is the book that you're on, but that's on your coffee table right now? What book are you reading at the moment?
Well, coincidentally, it's again a very small book. It is called The Little Prince,
Okay.
and it is by a French author. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at pronouncing the French names, but I'll show you the book.
The little. Okay. Although I studied French, ma'am, in school for 2 years, but even my French pronunciation is not the best.
It's some Antonia de Antoine and something else. I'm
Okay.
reading that, and as you can see, it's just Alchemist is also this thick,
Right. Yes.
and this is what I'm reading, and this is how simple things have so much of impact. And I'm going through it, hope to finish it in a day or two. And I like, I read fiction also. I mean, this is part of fiction. But sometimes when I get hold of these books which have a psychological impact, I really enjoy reading them. Another book that I very widely recommend is a book by Spencer Johnson. It says,
Mhm.
Who Moved My Cheese?
Okay.
And
Yes. Yes. I have heard of
yeah,
this as well. Yeah.
it's a book about two mice, and believe me, unput downable book.
Really?
And
Wow.
has
Okay.
yeah, and it had a lot of impact on me. And I'm very happy to say whoever read that book got back to me saying it had an impact on us.
Wow. I must get down to getting these books, ma'am. Now that you've said they've inspired you in your little ways,
Thank
I'm
you.
definitely going to get down to get these books for sure.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
So moving on from books, what does style mean to you?
Style.
Since this is, ma'am, the series is Finesse and Flair. So, what is your style quotient? Like, is it comfort? Is it, being practical? So, when you look at your, say, cupboard, you open your cupboard and you say, okay, what should I wear today? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? What is your style quotient? Like, for a lot, for me now, slowly, it is changing from being fashionable to being practical. So, what is your take on that?
As always, you will find my answer maybe very different, but I'll tell you honestly. I like to wear my smile, carry my confidence, and leave a lingering fragrance of my perfume. That is my
Beautiful. Wow, that's
that
amazing,
is
ma'am.
my
That's
style. Clothes mattered at one point of time. It is now how I can present myself that is more important than what I'm wearing vis-a-vis clothes. But if
I
I wear a
feel it.
smile, I have people opening up to me.
Absolutely, ma'am. And I know that all of us remember your smile, like we were talking yesterday. Of course, you being a disciplinarian was a very, very important aspect for all of us while we were in Beats. But like I said yesterday as well, you were like this maternal, figure for us who was always there to protect us, to look after us while we were in school. And that smile one can never ever forget. And I so agree with you, ma'am. Smile and confidence, nothing beats that when it comes to style.
But don't forget, wearing a perfume is again one of my passions.
Extremely important. Yes, yes, absolutely. So what is your favorite perfume, ma'am? Considering it's so important, what is your favorite perfume?
Uh, the one fragrance that I like very much is Light Blue by Dolce Gabbana.
Okay, nice. Wow. Okay, wow. I'm also a big fan of perfumes, ma'am. So when I started flying today, coincidentally, ma'am, today I have finished 21 years with British Airways. 14th June 99.
Congratulations!
Thank you. 14 June to 99 is when I joined. And yes, I'm also really, really very, very fond of perfumes and beautiful fragrances. So every month I used to collect one perfume. And by the end of it, I had so many of them that I had to start giving them away because, they start evaporating after a while, after a few years. But yes, I've also been a big, big fan of perfumes. And I feel that it adds a lot of charisma, a lot of, and you start relating to a person based on that fragrance that they always wear.
Yes, and yeah, that must be another connection between us. And people boast of having bought diamonds and felt on top of the world or a Kanjivaram. I'll tell you, the first time I bought a perfume with my money, I
Mm,
thought I had achieved the ultimate.
absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. You feel that this is, I'm going to, the fragrance is going to be because of what I have earned. It's my hard earned money. So true, ma'am.
Exactly,
So true.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
So, ma'am, since you have been teaching children all your life, and now the new Gen X is very different to what it was, what we were, say, about 20 years ago. So, do you think etiquette, social etiquette, does that mean anything to the generation today? Do you think it's still there, it's lacking, or it could get better? What is your take on that, ma'am?
You see, speaking for myself, I'm much older than you also. I mean, I'm old school, definitely, till date. But the new generation, it doesn't mean that they don't have etiquette. They do have etiquette. But as for other things, they interpret etiquettes very differently to how we have interpreted. And everybody says this generation is this, that, and the other. No, I find this generation highly stimulated, and it is a very fast moving generation, and
Yes.
it's difficult to keep pace with them.
Only
Like,
yesterday, man, I was listening to someone when they said that this is for them, everything is, they're used to getting everything very fast in life, whether it's delivering food or going in, attending a class or anything. They're so used to things which are so fast for them that, yes, you're right, for us as individuals to keep up pace with them is extremely difficult.
yeah, and see, unless they balance their lifestyle, the burnout sets in much earlier. But today's generation is smart. They
Yes, I
know how to
agree with you.
de-stress, they know how to take a holiday. And so I feel I've seen it in my niece and nephew also, and another niece who's growing up, that
Right.
they really know how to get their way.
Yes,
And they
they, I
also
totally
know,
agree with you on that.
yeah, and I also know, like my niece works for a multinational, and it is run, run, run kind of a job. But the fact remains, she knows how to de-stress.
He knows
She
how to
knows how to
deal with
strike a
it.
balance.
Yes, yes.
So
I've got a
I
9-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son, ma'am, and I can see them go exactly the same way. So I know exactly what you mean. This generation is too smart for us. We can't, sort of deal with them at all. They, and like you said, their intelligence, their level of, patience, everything is absolutely unbelievable.
and being a psychologist, I believe that people say it's not like what it was in our times. It should not be like that. We are not pieces, they are not pieces of wood. They
Yeah,
have to move,
we have to move on,
they have to evolve, they have
evolve.
to go ahead of us. But
Absolutely, ma'am.
ahead doesn't mean in just kind of earning money. It means here also.
Mentally as well. Absolutely.
I admire this generation.
So true, ma'am. Wow, that's such a beautiful thought, actually. Yes, that's a beautiful way of looking at it. That why not let them grow? If we want them to grow physically, financially, then emotionally, mentally, they need to grow as well. That's so, so important.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Ma'am, so before we close this, one last question, ma'am. Any memory that you have of us together while I was there for those 2 years? I know I was there for a short stint of 2 years, but any memory that you have of us, ma'am, while I was there in St. Bede's College?
St. Bede's, the very name opens floodgates of memories that I have. But I have very vivid recollection of your batch. You were a very vivacious batch. Talking of you, Bia, you started by coming and sitting right in front because you just came out of school, and slowly you graduated to the back benches because you had made friends and you wanted to have fun in class, right? So I waited for the first class test to see where will I place this girl, and wow, you were brilliant. So were your friends. So this was your class. They did exceptionally well, but that element of naughtiness, that spark in their eyes, was something that I really liked. Though I didn't show it in class, but I really, really liked it.
Yes, we were, you're right, ma'am. We were a very naughty batch. Most of us did, and most of us, surprisingly, ma'am, did very well in our 12th boards. And, we got really, we actually, I don't know if you remember, ma'am, but I topped the Himachal board in 12th, and
Yes,
I
I know.
came first, which was actually quite a surprise to me. I was not expecting it at all. But each and everybody in our batch, I think, in spite of being naughty and wanting to have fun, we all did really well in our 12. The results that year were pretty good, and everybody managed to do very well.
And you know why, Bia? Naughtiness is a sign of intelligence.
Absolutely.
A
Yes.
mind that can conceive and perceive things differently, for them to be naughty, can also conceive and perceive their academic material also differently.
Absolutely, ma'am. So true. So true. Yeah. Like they
And
say that even to,
I enjoy teaching your batch and all other batches, of course.
yeah. So I bet, ma'am, I'm sure you remember Rungi, Thipi, you remember all of them. I actually met up with them with Tamanna 2 years ago. We went to Thailand and we met up with them. It was amazing to reconnect with them after almost 20 years. It was really, really nice. And I'm in touch with so many of them. So many of them, in Delhi. A lot of them are in Delhi. Some of them are in London, in Dubai. So I've been in touch with so many of them. And yes, ma'am, you're right. I think the most amazing gift that my parents gave me was to send me to St. Bede's, because that really changed my perspective to life. Till I reached, I still remember the first day I came to St. Bede's, I howled, I cried. I thought my parents don't love me anymore. They've left me in this, place all by myself. But that only lasted for 2 days. After that, I didn't want to go back home in my vacations. One didn't want to go back home. It was just, because St. Bede's became home for us while we were there.
You see, besides teaching, I have also graduated from St. Bede's.
Yes.
So that feeling is mutual. And I must tell you a little secret. In your class were Rungarung and Runthip, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
In your class. Their names were a little different.
Different.
So when they came into my class, I put their names on the attendance register. I carried that register home because I had to practice their names. I didn't want to falter while taking attendance.
Right.
But then by the end of it, I knew them so well, so well.
Yeah.
I have not been in touch with Runthip, but Rungarung yesterday also said hello, and that was very nice.
Okay. I'm hoping they're going to join the call later, ma'am, because I have sent the message to everybody from my batch, and I'm hoping that a lot of them will, and they will be, I'm sure, because yesterday it was amazing the amount of people from St. Bede's who came, and I know they were all there only for you. They wanted to talk to you, they wanted to, reconnect with you after so many years. So that just shows, ma'am, your fan following over the years with every passing year, I'm sure, is just increasing more and more.
I love each one of you. And I can also tell you one thing. As people say, you have a glow on your face. That glow is because of my students.
The love that you get from your
Of
students. Yeah, everybody
course,
loves you so much.
that is unparalleled. But I'm
I
very happy to see what you are doing, Bia. Feel very happy. I follow you closely on Facebook.
Thank you,
And
ma'am. Thank you so much. That really means a lot coming from you, who's been my favorite teacher. If you say that you're happy with what I'm doing, that really does mean a lot to me.
yes, of course, I am very happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out time. And thank you so much to have, like I said, agreed to be a part of my series. I'm so honored and so happy that you agreed to be a part of my series.
I'm equally honored, and lots of love, and God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And we shall stay connected, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Sure, we will. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.